From behind the counter at his Donora pizza shop, Anthony D. Donato has seen the toughest of the tough days play out in his gritty little town perched high above a sharp bend in the Monongahela River. In nearly 40 years of rolling pizza dough and stuffing calzones at his McKean Avenue shop, D. Donato watched the area's storied steel industry collapse and witnessed the mass exodus of those left jobless. He's seen some of the town's main drag decline to the point where, on some blocks, the boarded-up brick buildings outnumber those that are occupied. But time and again, he's seen Donora dust itself off and move on from its setbacks.
Oh, strange, came by night.
After all, it's a proud place, a 2-square-mile town of just 4,700 that spawned baseball greats Ken Griffey Sr., his son Ken Jr., and Stan the Man Usual.
Bound away, out of sight.
It's a place where Friday nights are all about high school football, and a good pierogi or a steaming pan of halupki will garner favor with just about anyone.
Into the path, through the fields.
This time, however, residents, business owners, and city officials fear that something is different.
On the way.
It all began in 2009 with the closing of the 106-year-old Donora-Webster Bridge. It is a truss bridge that spans the Monongahela River between the borough of Donora and the village of Webster in western Pennsylvania. The bridge was originally built to serve rail traffic and was eventually fully converted in 1938 for automobile use.
Sir. Hello, Hannah's.
Hey, happy Hannah's. How's it going?
Good, Bobby. How are you, buddy?
Not too bad. Hey, do you want to order me a case of fillers? How much you charge for those things, the white ones?
Immediately following the closing of the bridge, Albert Hanna, owner of Hanna's hardware store in Donora, says that he suffered a 20% loss of business. The bridge was closed due to structural deficiencies, though there was always hope that it would be rebuilt. Then came the crushing news that the span, which will cost $30 million to reconstruct, would not be replaced. Recently, PennDOT officials said the bridge will be demolished by the end of August 2015. In October of 2014, Donora Council appointed Donald Pavelko to be the town's new mayor when 92-year-old Mayor John Lignelli retired after 20 years in office.
Well, when I was growing up back in the 60s, the steel mill was still going. You'd hear whistles and banging trains all day long. Donora at that time was very active. All Main Street was jam-packed. Everything you wanted was right here in Donora at that time. Donora was a bustling community at that time, probably over 10,000 people. Now, I do believe we dipped below 5,000. We're not as bad off as some other communities in the area. We still can operate and provide services. Not having the bridge is definitely, slowly but surely, putting the nails in the coffin. We had 3 banks in town until, I believe it was 2012. And within months, all 3 banks closed.
Hard times are nothing new for Donora. Spunk tinged with a little radicalism has always been part of Donora's makeup. It's the place where 40% of the eligible men gave the World War I draft board fictitious addresses in protest. It's also the place where 2 men who crossed the picket lines during a 1919 steel strike had their homes destroyed in dynamite blasts. And in 1948, when a legendary toxic smog settled over the town, killing 20 and sickening thousands, the people fought back. They sued the local industries they believed were responsible, then later founded a still open smog museum to commemorate the deadly inversion. That's where you'll find Edith Jericho, a museum attendant who grew up across the river in Webster and then moved to Donora, where she settled and raised a family of her own.
I'm all for getting that bridge fixed because the people in Webster, they have nothing. They have nothing. Older people can't get to the store, can't do anything. And I'm really adamant about getting the bridge, keeping it open. We had banks, we had grocery stores, I worked in a grocery store for 25 years. Gradually, with the closing of the mills, people moved out of town. Then there was no place for the younger kids to get work. They left. The older people stayed behind, and when they died, the children don't want the homes. So it has gone downhill since the banks, since the mills moved out. This is a little town that's just forgotten. That's all it is.
Some residents are waging their own campaigns to save the town. Some have taken the town's case to various social media sites and online petitioning. According to William H. Fry, a demographer at the Brookings Institute in Washington, D.C., Donora's troubles are emblematic of the difficulties facing many small towns. He said that the prognosis for much of small-town America does not look good, while large, economically vibrant metropolitan areas will likely begin to grow as jobs and housing markets pick up.
I get tired of hearing people saying Donora is dead. Donora is far from being dead. My vision for Donora is for it to be a place that you really don't want to leave. You have opportunities here, whether you work here, have a business here. My hope is that these communities can start to thrive somehow. Do I have an answer? No, I don't. You see commercials on TV with PennDOT officials saying that we have money for bridge and infrastructure repair, and we can't seem to get anybody to hear our plea for help here in Donora. It's very disheartening.